Hi and welcome to Fun Swedish. Almost 2 years ago, we made a video about the 3 different ways to say think in Swedish. Tycka, tänka, tro. Men jag tänker göra om videon eftersom jag tror att många av er tycker att det är svårt med tycka, tänka, tro. What I just said was that I think that I will redo the video because I think that many of you think that it's very difficult with the different Swedish verbs for thinking. Så låt oss tänka tillsammans på svenska. So let us think together in Swedish. But first, let's go back a little bit. Like I just said, in Swedish we have 3 different ways to say think. Tycka, tänka, tro. And in this video, we're going to talk about when you should use each of them. But before we do that, jag tycker att ni ska likea den här videon om ni tycker om den. What I just said was that I think that you should like this video if you like it. Och jag tycker att ni ska prenumerera på den här kanalen Fun Swedish om ni inte har gjort det redan. And I think that you should subscribe to our channel if you haven't done it yet. Tycka, tycka, tycka. And tycka is the first verb for think that we're going to talk about. Tycka as think is used when you want to express an opinion, en åsikt. And my opinion was that I wanted you to like and subscribe to Fun Swedish. That's my opinion. So that's why I used tycka and not tänka or tro in this situation. Let's look at more examples of when you use the verb tycka. Since tycka is used for opinions, this is the verb I will use if I would like to say I think that you're very good at Swedish. Jag tycker att du är bra på svenska. It's my opinion that I think that you are good at Swedish. Since tycka is used to express opinions, it very often goes together with some kind of adjective, such as bra, dålig och dåligt, or svårt, or some kind of adjective that describes a feeling, how you feel or think that something is, an opinion. And tycka is also the verb you should use when you want to say that you think it's difficult with these different ways of saying thinking in Swedish. Jag tycker att det är svårt med tycka, tänka, tro. Because it's your opinion that this is difficult. Some people might agree with you and some might not. Tycka, tänka, tro and when to use them is tricky in Swedish. And in order to master them, you kind of need to get a little bit philosophical. What is thinking? Well, to express an opinion is one way of thinking. And therefore, I have a specific verb for this, tycka. And then if you want to say in the present, it will be jag tycker. Many Swedish learners mix this up and use tänker when they actually should say tycker. A classic mistake is, for example, to say jag tänker att det är en bra idé when you want to say I think that is a good idea. This would sound a bit weird for a Swede. They want to hear jag tycker att det är en bra idé. Because that is the correct way of saying I think that is a good idea. Jag tycker att det är en bra idé. And like we mentioned before, if the sentence has an adjective such as bra, good, then it's very likely that you're talking about an opinion. And that's why you should use tycka and not tänka. But when should you use tänka if you can't use it for an opinion? When you ask yourself this question, this is actually when you should use the verb tänka. Because for a Swede, tänka is actually the real verb for thinking. If a Swede uses tänka, then they are informing you that they are processing some thoughts in their head, but neutral thoughts, because they haven't formed an opinion yet. Like when you're thinking, oh, I'm seeing a bird, and I'm processing what I'm seeing. That's why it's kind of like the real thinking. And we also use this verb in the present form when we want to say, I'm thinking about you. Jag tänker på dig. And for us, it's kind of like we don't know yet if it's good or bad that you're thinking about me. It's just fact. Jag tänker på dig. Another example that is perhaps even better is this phrase. Stör mig inte, jag tänker. Don't bother me, I'm thinking. So I really need my brain now. I need to think, concentrate. Jag måste tänka. Maybe you need to think, tänka, because you're busy thinking when you should use tycka, tänka, tro. This is when you should use tänka. Vad tänker du på? Jag tänker på när jag ska använda tycka, tänka, tro. Again, no opinion, just processing the information. That's why tänka is the neutral thinking. But then we also use tänka as a help verb. And if you want to know more what a help verb is, hjälpverb, then you should check out this video we made about it. But basically, when we use the verb tänka as a help verb, we need another verb coming after it. We use, for example, the help verb tänka in its present form, tänker, when we want to express that we're planning something. Like this example. Jag tänker köpa mat. I'm planning to buy some food. Or I'm thinking about buying food. Jag means I, tänker, think, köpa, buy, mat, food. Maybe you notice here that when we say this phrase, jag tänker köpa mat, we actually aren't saying I'm thinking about buying food. We say more like I think buy food. Like you can see, Swedish is a very straight to the point language since it's made by Vikings. But again, it really means I'm planning to buy food. Tänka, together with another verb, can be translated to planning. Another example. Jag tänker ringa dig imorgon. I'm planning to call you tomorrow. Even though it means I plan call you tomorrow. So to sum up, we use the verb tänka in order to express that we're planning something, or if we want to express that we are processing thoughts and information. Usch, jag tänker så mycket nu att jag får ont i huvudet. I'm thinking so much, so I get a headache. But don't give up. If you want to practice these verbs, tycka, tänka, tro, after this video, then you should take our online video course for upper beginners where we practice this a lot. In this course, you will get some fun exercises to practice tycka, tänka, tro. Okej, så låt oss tänka lite till. Okej, let us think a little bit more. Låt oss tänka på tro. Let us think about tro. Our third and last way to talk about thinking. Also means think, but it can also be translated to believe. Because tro is used when you're not 100% sure about something. That's why it's sometimes more similar to believe. For example, if you want to say, jag tror på Gud, I believe in God, then you will use tro. But also, if you want to say, jag tror på dig, I believe in you. We also use tro when we're talking about something that is out of our control. Something that is not about ourselves, but about someone else or about something else. Like the weather, your mom, or your dog. All of these are actually out of your control. Because you actually never know for sure how they will react in a certain situation. For example, if you want to say that you think that it will rain tomorrow, then you should use tro. Jag tror att det kommer att regna imorgon. I think or believe that it will rain tomorrow. Because the rain is something that is out of your control. You never know if it actually will rain or not. The weather is always out of your control, especially in Sweden. Same thing if you're talking about someone else, like a friend or a classmate. Maybe your Swedish teacher asks you, where is your classmate Amina today? And you want to say, I think she's sick. Because yesterday you talked to her and she said that she wasn't feeling 100%. In this situation, you would use tro. Jag tror att hon är sjuk. Here you're using tro because you're talking about someone else. Even if she told you that she wasn't feeling 100% yesterday, you can't be 100% sure if she's skipping Swedish because she's actually sick or just didn't feel like going. And if you know for sure that she is sick, then you would change the verb completely and just say hon är sjuk. She is sick. But you will never use tycka or tänka. You can only use är or tro. And you would absolutely use tro if you're not 100% sure. So to sum up, we use tro when we want to say believe, or if we're talking about something that we're not 100% sure about, like the weather or someone else. And tro is also the verb you're going to use if you're guessing something. For example, when you want to say I think so, jag tror det. Vi går den här bussen till Slussen. This bus goes to Slussen, right? I think so. And while we're on this topic, pay attention to this. In Swedish, we actually don't say I think so. We say I think it. Jag tror det. That's actually what it really means. So a very common mistake is to say jag tror så. It's actually wrong. Jag tror det. Jag tror det. But let's move on. Now I'm actually going to make things more complicated for you. Förlåt. Because we also use tro when we want to be more diplomatic or more polite with our opinion. Let's imagine a nice bartender. He or she wants to tell us to go home because we had too many drinks. In this situation, they could actually choose and say either jag tycker att du ska gå hem nu or jag tror att du ska gå hem nu. If the bartender used the first one, jag tycker att du ska gå hem nu, then they're very direct and very clear with their opinion, almost like you're saying, I think you should go home now. But if they say, jag tror att du ska gå hem nu, it sounds a little bit softer, a little bit more polite, like if you would say, I think or I believe that you should go home now. So again, sometimes we can actually use true also to express opinions, but when we want to be a bit polite, maybe we also give the person a chance to defend themselves. Like if I would say, I think you should go home now, but correct me if I'm wrong. Some Swedes would also use this at work if they want to give feedback in a more polite and nicer way, without sounding too harsh and direct. Like if they were saying, I don't think it's a good idea, but maybe I'm wrong. Or they kind of want to give you a chance to agree to disagree. You can of course also use jag tycker att det är en dålig idé when you want to give feedback, but then you're quite strong with your opinion and it sounds like you're not going to change your opinion. So, konflikträdda svenskar, Swedes that are scared of conflicts will very often use tro instead of tycka when you want to express an opinion in a more diplomatic way. So if you use tro to express an opinion, you kind of say that you're open and flexible to change his opinion. Jag tror att ni kanske är lite trötta nu. I think or believe that you may be a bit tired now. But before I end this video, I want to give you a great example to visualize the differences between Tycka, tänka, tror. I want you to imagine that you go into the cinema before going, during and after. Jag vill gå på bio. I want to go to the cinema because they have told me about this movie that is apparently really good. But since you can't know for sure until you have seen the movie if it's good or not, you're going to use the verb tro. Jag tror att den här filmen ska vara bra. Därför vill jag se den. We use tro in this example because you won't be able to have an opinion about the movie if you haven't seen it yet. Then you will have all the information you need to make an opinion about it. But not yet. First we're going to say tro until the movie starts. Then, when we are watching the movie, we are processing all the information that we're seeing on the screen. Jag tänker på det jag ser i filmen. I'm thinking about what I'm seeing in this movie. Here, during the movie, we're using tänker because we are processing the information. Then, after the movie has ended, then I will know for sure if it was a good or bad movie because I will have enough information to make an opinion about it. And this is when the verb tycker comes in. And if you think that a movie was good, then you can say jag tycker att filmen var bra. My opinion is that the movie was good. And if you didn't think the movie was good, then you will still use tycker, but you will add an inte after. Jag tycker inte att filmen var bra. I don't think that the movie was good. Do you remember that we said that we very often use adjectives such as good and bad, bra och dåligt, when we use the verb tycker? And if you want to say, I like the movie, then you can just add an to tycker and also add a little stress to the Jag tycker om filmen. I like the movie. Tycka om is a phrasal verb and it means to like. And if you don't like the movie, jag tycker inte om filmen. So again, tycka is the verb used for opinions, and if you add a tycka om, it means like. So to sum up this movie metaphor, use tro before you see the movie, then you use tycker after the movie, and some tänka during the movie. And now we have come to the end, and this is a test. Let's see if you can follow me. Jag tror att ni tänker nu. processing all the thoughts and all the information I just gave you. Och jag tror att ni tycker att det är svårt med tycka, tänka, tro. And I believe, because I can't be 100% sure what is really going on in your head, but I believe that you think that this is difficult. Your opinion is that this is difficult. But I believe that it's gonna go well in the end. Because I believe in you. Jag tror på er. You can do this. With me. Or with our courses. And like I said, you need to get a little bit philosophical when you think about tycka, tänka, tro. Man måste tänka på ett filosofiskt sätt. And remember, if you want to practice more Tycka, tänka, tro with me, then you should sign up to our online video course for upper beginners. We will do many fun exercises with Tycka, tänka, tro and also learn how to say them in the present, past and future. Now, my last phrase with Tycka, tänka, tro. Jag tycker att ni ska anmäla er till kursen. Jag tror att ni kommer tycka om den. Tänk på saken.